Hello, and thank you for tuning in to our series, Restoration of a Vintage Singer Sewing Machine, Model 15. This is the 8th video in a 10-part series, entitled, The Motor. Today we will be looking at a potted motor, so let's get started. Remove the front cover. I like to stand the machine up. Use a piece of wood to protect the take-up lever. A 2x4 works great. Remove the balance wheel. I've set the machine down because I want you to get a good look at the screws. Stop the tape. These screws can be a real problem. They have probably been there since the 1940s and they are not willing to just come out easy. Here's a few things you will need to remove the screws without damaging the head. A 1/4-inch ratchet or a 1/4-inch boxed end wrench. A 1/4-inch slotted bit, better known as a flat screwdriver tip. Wide enough to fit the slot in the screw head. And a 1/4-inch magnetic shank. Just a couple of taps, and the screws back out easily. That's the first one. And that's the second. Both removed without damaging the slot on the head of the screw. Okay. With the motor removed, we can disassemble. Remove the small screws that hold the cover on. There is one on each side. Remove the cover for the brushes. There is one on each side. Next, remove the armature. To do that, loosen the 2 screws on the worm gear. They are 180 degrees apart. There's the first one. And there's the other one. Now that they're loose, the armature shaft is free to come out of the housing. Insert a small screwdriver into the housing and push the shaft out. If it doesn't come out freely, you haven't loosened the screws enough. Okay, the worm gear is ready to be removed. Notice the screws and their positioning. See the notched keyway on the shaft? This is where one of the screws sits. The shaft is only notched on one side and it doesn't matter which screw you align with it. The wiring looks good. The connectors are good and the wires are not cracked. The wires come in from the bottom of the housing and wrap around before connecting to the field coils. This motor is in good shape. And no wire replacement is necessary. Let's look at the grease ports. Remove the thumb screws. The grease is black and dirty. Clean out the ports and refill. There is a link below to a good synthetic grease. Okay. Let's clean everything up. First, the armature. Using 1000 grit wet or dry sandpaper and a drill, clean the copper ring. This will remove all the grime that comes from the wear on the brushes, combined with the grease particles. Next, the metal ring. This is the dirty part of the cleanup. The old grease in the housing. After all the old grease is removed, I use a synthetic grease. There is a link below the timeline in the description. I don't receive any compensation from any recommendations. Make sure you get all the old grease from the worm gear compartment. Next, clean the brushes. I like to dip them in alcohol. See the wear pattern in the brush? When we reassemble, the concave part should line up with the copper ring. This is one way to insert the gear into the housing. An old shoestring works, or a narrow strip torn from an old t-shirt works too. Place the string around the gear and lower it into place. Use the string to line up the gear with the shaft. When the shaft slides in, you can remove the string. A quick tip. Without X-ray vision you can't see the slot on the shaft, so it may seem hard to align with the gear screw. Place the gear where you think the flat area is. Ease the screw in, but not too tight. Turn the shaft with your right hand. With your fingers on the gear, you can feel if the gear is snug. Loosen the screw up just a tiny bit. You should be able to turn the gear just a tiny bit before it stops. Then turn it back the other way. There should be a tiny amount the shaft will turn before stopping. You then know the screw is on top of the flat keyway. Tighten it up. And then tighten the other screw. Okay, let's replace the brushes. Remember the concave shape of the brush? Align it with the circular shape of the round shaft. Replace the cap. Tighten it up but don't overdo it. The caps are plastic and can be easily cracked. Same process with the other brush. All that is left is to wipe it down and install the cover. We'll go over the wiring from the motor to the plug in the next video, so we'll leave it off for now. This completes the video on the Singer 1591 potted motor. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and it has given you some ideas about restoring an old Singer. This has been number 8 in the 10-part video series, Restoring a Model 15. At the posting time of this video, we have 2 additional videos in production to complete the series. In our next video, number 9, we will look at the wiring between the machine and the controller. To be the first to see the newest videos, make sure you subscribe, click the button and hit the bell. Thanks for watching.